post-game live streams. Those ones are really great. For this football player, once again, a UT Austin football player, he goes live after games and he'll answer fans' questions, but it's one-to-one access that fans never get. So that I always promote because that's the real-time interaction. You think about like these fans that are watching games are on their phone 99% of the time as well. So being able to say, oh my gosh, I'm going to hop on this live and watch one of my favorite athletes talk about their thoughts of the game for any fan of any team. That's money. Last one that I've actually seen done really well is the workout routine and like coaching element. Not only is that huge for high school students, think about if you were a high schooler looking to recruit and you were able to look up to an athlete and get one-to-one access to how they trained, to how they recruited, that would be, an exceptional opportunity for them. And I have this one athlete, he'll just post how he works out, like literally his PDF of his training. And he does make really great money. But also just that opportunity to give back to even your high school and be like, hey, high school, as a recruiting opportunity, like you should tell your high school students that I will give these students advice, like something like that, especially for athletes that maybe are growing their brand, is a really great place to start. I know that was all over the place. I can't pick one.
That was so good. I've never heard about the live streaming after a game. That's fascinating. Like, I think that is just so good.
Yeah. And you think about with that, rights holders are the ones getting the money for most press conferences, right? That's who's monetizing on that. Fans love to see it, but at the end of the day, their athletes aren't the ones getting paid. It's the rights holders. So I love that it's like taking ownership of that.
Well, it's almost like, I think something that the U.S. has always done just tremendously well, specifically in collegiate sports, is the halftime interview or the fourth quarter interview with the head coach or whoever it may be, right? And I think you see it even across sports internationally, showing videos before a game inside the locker room or like things like that. So the more that wall between the fan and the players can go down, the better. And I've never considered a live stream direct questions from fans, because who doesn't want to ask their favorite athletes questions?
Yeah. It's interesting. There's this like article that came out recently about the NFL has a team called LSC, and at least you might be familiar with it. I think the Big Ten has a lot of similar stuff, but so the LSC team are basically coordinators, or I don't know what their exact title is, but they take content on their phone and they will get that UGC that fans are wanting. It's that behind the scenes locker room content, sideline content, and the rights holders are genuinely like purchasing this content that's literally phone based. And it's crazy because the amount of money being spent on simply mobile content that gives fans that one-to-one interaction with athletes, once again, is going to like the big dogs. And that is so easy for these athletes to be able to monetize on directly. That always just brings me back to like this message of like, okay, the audience is there. That's what fans want to see. It's time for these athletes to, be empowered to take ownership of it.
For these opportunities, obviously Passes is just capitalizing on bridging this gap and helping student athletes in this case be able to do this. What would you say is the biggest differentiator between Passes and any other competitor that exists out there?
A couple of things. Just start off, at the end of the day, our technology is just top tier, and that's like the most important part is the tech. We have, as I mentioned, really the best of them all. So it's a very versatile platform that these athletes can lean into really whatever they want when it comes to fan offerings. But B, we're so buildable that for a fan, if I want to, let's say I'm hosting a training camp, fans purchase a ticket to my training camp. Now they're a follower of me on Passes. I can drop merch. I can go live. I can offer a membership for fans to get behind the scenes. They're in my system. I can kind of upsell. It just makes it really easy for them to continue relationship building and continue, honestly, additional monetary opportunities. So that is a really big selling point for Passes. We make it so easy to continue revenue streams in multiple ways on this platform. But I also think that ability to sell merchandise or do a membership or go live once a month, or sell Cameo style offerings, can all be done in one place is really great. So I would say that's a huge differentiator. Our revenue split is super favorable. Not many have that 90-10 in the market. So we really, take the owning your audience and owning your content with pride, and we want to make sure that they really are earning what they deserve.